That again. You want me to?
Yeah, I do.
Well,
Get ready. This is good.
I bought a motel right on I-85. That's before they changed it, made the new I-85 around the, that got so crowded. It had too many entrances and exits and everything, And the same thing we're going to have on I-75, if they keep buying that land for $500, we're going to sell it for $100,000, And they're going to have the state put so many exits up there that they'll have to disqualify I-75 as being an interstate.
Get on to this story here.
I love to
Worry about time it's in the local
I bought this motel, and the name of it was the Villa. Okay.
The Villa.
Well, being way ahead of my time as I usually am,
Yeah.
but this was in the late '60s, I renamed it Pancho's Villa. As Pancho Villa, who has the same spelling of
Yeah, just got a little mark up there.
Yeah, it's all right. I renamed it Pancho's Villa, a villa, and I proceeded to decorate it in a Mexican motel. Okay?
You well had your time.
I said that right. So, and in order to advertise and kind of change...
Catch that motif word there now?
change the this motel and restaurant had been one of the meanest bars and places, disreputable places, and it even went downhill after I bought it.
I see, maybe that's Pancho Villa.
So, in order to kind of advertise the place, I had this young lady that worked for me and my wife, and her name was Debney Smith.
Debney?
And if anybody knows Debney Smith, we would like to have contact with her, and understand she's married and had several children. But Debney was a runaway from home. Her mother was a school teacher, and we took her in, got her back in Gilbert Technical
Not
College.
to say that school teachers' kids are even more likely to run away from home than anybody else.
I don't mean that, but her mother, she had to be from a very fine family. And in all honesty, she got dropped off at the motel by a truck driver.
Well, they'll certainly get you away from home.
Yeah, you did that right. So that was back when diesel fuel was cheap too, so you go a long ways. Well, we looked after her. She ran the motel some for us. She made the bank deposit. She went to school. She made good grades. We provided her with an automobile. But Debney was a well-endowed young lady.
It made me a little
Yeah. And in order to advertise that motel, I brought a donkey up from my farm, and her name was Jack. Now, it was a female donkey. She was a Jenny, but we called her Jack. Why, I don't know. Well, Jack had stayed out in the pasture at my farm for a good 10 years. Never would go inside the barn. When it sleeted, snowed, she'd go down there and get that pine thicket, and that's where she stayed. Well, I brought Jack up there, and I put Debney riding that donkey in the middle of I-85 median with a big sombrero on and a sign on her back that said, "If you can't eat at Pancho's, kiss my donkey." Well,
your advertising was way ahead of its time, wasn't it?
You have to realize that I was about 38 years old at the time. Can you imagine an old country boy owning a motel and a restaurant at 38 years old? Well, I put her out there in the median for riding that donkey. Well, Jack was very domesticated. She was very domesticated. We'd bring her in at night and just turn her loose there on the grounds of the motel, and she never would stray. She'd eat a little grass. We kept a little hay from her. And I'll take this old gal's name here in a little bit, who was head of the animal, being good animal. Huh?
SPCA?
Yeah, okay. Well, Rhonda was the name. Rhonda was an old bleached out redhead woman. She's dead. I told her this to her face what I thought of her when she was alive. Run a boarding house. Kept all them winos and everything up there, and I think she kept them happy, made good runners out of them. Well, she called and said, "This is Rhonda Boss, and I understand you have..."
Rhonda who?
Boss, B-O-S-T.
Oh, Boss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I understand you have a donkey out there that has no shelter to get in. I said, "Well, who told you a bunch of crap like that?" You have to understand, I've always been like that. well, we come on reliable sources says we're going to have to come out and inspect the conditions under which you have that animal here. I said, well, come on out. Hung up, I said, Bill, go take the furniture out of number 14, put a bale of straw in there, some magazines around, turn TV on, and put Jack in there. He said, huh? So I told him again. A little bit, how comes Miss Boss was one of our helpers? Says, we'd like to see the facilities you have for this donkey. I said, okay, come on. I said, Bill, take him around there and show him where Jack's staying. Oh, Bill, now he's tough. I'll tell you what, he was about like a bouncer. He was a bouncer. He'd wear you out. Bill, he takes her around there. He opens up number 14. There's Jack standing, munching on a magazine.
Jack couldn't read.
Watching television. He said, I have never heard of anything like this in my life. A donkey in a motel.
Imagine another magazine like
She flew back out there.
Red, no doubt.
She flew back out there. I knew just what she was going to do as soon as she got back. Now, this was in the late 60s, a little bit before everybody had a cell phone. Because she probably would have called her on the spot. But she leaves, and I said, get Jack out of here. I said, put him back in the pickup truck, take him down to the farm, because I wasn't riding him anymore out in the highway, because the highway patrol had been on me too much. He had come out there and run Debney out of the meeting. And just as soon as I got outside, I put her back out there again. So I said, take
Debney on a female donkey named Jack.
So I said, I put Bill in the back of my pickup truck, Jack in the back of my pickup truck, Bill, and take him down to the farm. I said, just go through the gate and turn her loose. She knows where to go. So they took Bill down there. And after, it wasn't too long, out comes the health inspector.
The motel inspector.
I understand you're keeping animals in your motel. I said, who in the world told you that? Says, Ms. Boss. I said, she wasn't up there a bunch of winos in her boarding house when she called you, was she? So he checks every room, you know. He could find no evidence of animals anywhere. Now, they did not have in their ordinance anything about vermin, you know, because they didn't have a lice in that motel anyhow. Okay. Might have been a louse or two laying around there, but wasn't no lice. So that's the story. That's the story of Jack.
Whatever happened to Rhonda?
Oh, Miss Boss. Finally, somebody called a mattress on fire and burned that place up, and she burned up with it.
She burned up with it?
Yeah, burned up.
We don't need no